Hi friends, this is DaintyTank. Thank you for joining me. This is Our Life Beginnings and Always Part 2. Poke the Totoro in the upper iCard area to see Part 1. And it looks really cute so far. Like honestly, it looks really adorable. And I am excited where this is going because there's so many freaking decisions. It's like decision after decision after decision. It's jam-packed. So much. I'm not sure which ones are actually going to be meaningful, impactful to the overall story, or if they all are in some minor way. Either way, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed with the sheer magnitude of actual decisions that we're having to do with this game. So, really excited. Plus, queer. Yay! So let's do this. Alright, so this is after we find our main character, Cole. We turned down the $20 that Cole's dad was trying to offer us because that was creepy and sleazy. You know how it goes. So, here we go. I don't know what's gonna happen, but there's lesbian moms in this. Yeah! Lesbian moms! Get it. At the breakfast table the next morning, you finish your food faster than usual. Your sister, Lizzie. Hold on. Lizzie the Leslie? Although I've heard, I have not fact-checked that, but that they're problematic. But of course, spoiler alert, I'm old, so I remember those old, like Lizzie the Leslie cartoons. Anyways, your sister, Lizzie, had to run out earlier to go play, but you stayed put. Today you let your moms just like your moms had promised, Cove was coming over to hang out. Oh, hi. Septum piercing, look at you. Excited to see your new friend, Dainty? Yeah, I am.
How sweet.
Aww. Can I actually, like... Nope. Yep. Voices. Let me put voices up. Yeah. Yep.
How sweet.
Oh, so much better. Okay.
Okay.
With that said, are you done with your breakfast? God. I'm making decisions on breakfast. Yeah? I don't know. Am I? Jerk. Your bowl was entirely empty, so you nodded. Mm-hmm. Good job. He should be here soon. Cleanup began, and then on cue, there was a knock. It was hesitant, like the person wasn't sure they were in the right place. Still loud, though. We need to get more obvious doorbell. I know. Dainty, could you get it? Wiggling out of my chair without really pushing it back, you make your way to the door. Hey, Tank family. Sorry, I didn't think about the consequence of separating Dainty and Tank. So yeah. Hey, Tank family. Thanks for having us. Mr. Holden, as your moms have called him, and his son were here. Cove looked different in the bright light of your living room, and when he wasn't crying. With his dad standing in front of him and mom and mommy behind you, you and Cove looked at each other. Pleased to see your new friend again. He smiled at Cove. He smiled back with some hesitation. Let's go play in my room.
Okay.
Cool.
Take care.
Let us know if you need anything, you two. Have fun, kids.
See you.
See you later, son. Play nice. You led him to your room, puffing out your chest a little bit at the sight of your treasures. There were lots of stuffed animals, a cool bed, and a window to look out. It was a great room. You hadn't had anyone to show it to in a while, but you were really proud of it. I was about to say, do you have a trundle bed? That's awesome. He leaned in a little closer to one of your drawings on the wall. I like this. Hey, he sounds like a sweetheart. Me too. I drew that. Thank you. He probably knew that. He probably knew you drew it. Say thank you. You're welcome. You smile at him. You were proud of that particular piece of art, and you were glad he noticed it. He turned to look around the room a little more, studying the books on your desk and the pictures on your walls. Oh, goodness, the sheer amount of decisions here. You started to feel a little bit nervous. You felt the atmosphere was kind of weird. You were glad for the company. You hoped he liked your room. Glad for the company. Yeah, it sounds like you haven't had many people over. It was nice to have someone new to play with. His eyes landing on a tiny box of beach things he'd collected, tucked away by your door. He took a step towards it, before hesitating and pointing at it instead. What's that? A hoard of stuff I found on the beach.
Oh.
Do you have any driftwood in there? Dragging the box into the middle of the room, you and Cove flopped down next to it. I think so. Yeah, see? Gestured to the piece at the bottom, still covered with specks of sand.
Neat.
This is good collection. You got the sense from the tone of his voice that he wasn't just saying it to be nice or to be like Shiloh. He actually meant it. Right, I almost forgot. Shiloh's gonna be here today. Shiloh? Lizzie's friend, or like her #1 fan, I guess? Do I have to see him? It should be okay. I mean, he's Lizzie's friend, not mine, but you know. Come on, check out my soil some more. I found this one under a big piece of seaweed that had washed ashore and pulled out seashell after seashell, explaining where you'd gotten each of them, holding them up against the light. There are big ones, small ones, pink, purple, and orange. Most of them you washed off in your bathroom sink when you brought them home, cleaning off the sand. Oh, this is so cute! Over the past few years, you'd even learned some of their scientific names. That's my nerd in me. The collection was so huge and varied that you had lots of funny stories to tell about them. Voice faltered a bit, but you kept going as best you could. I'm leaning between these two, but organically I would know their scientific names because I'd be too interested not to look it up. You had a whole picture book dedicated to different shells and sea life. You learned a lot by flipping through its pages. Apparently fascinated either by the stories or with the shells themselves, Cove listened with what looked like full force of his attention. It was a new experience to be the center of such dedicated focus. But Cove hadn't been mean to you, so you didn't mind. You smiled at him every now and then while showing him your collection. Kids, come down to the living room. You could tell the idea was making him unhappy, but Mommy wasn't giving you much of a choice to hang around. Cove hadn't been like this, meeting you. You guessed it was because he thinks you found each other by accident, not that a parent made it happen. Mr. Holden might be right that telling Cove his dad was part of that would be a bad idea. Yeah. Before you knew you'd both been escorted downstairs and deposited in the living room, ready for Shiloh's visit. Two of you sat side by side on the floor of your home's entry. I brought the box of shells. Want to keep looking at them? That sounds really like he wants anything to distract him. Great. Okay, but be careful. No. You should have asked. Don't be a jerk. Yeah, great. That sounds great. But stay open. We can keep looking while we wait for Shiloh. Cove reached in and pulled out a big orange shell. Oh. Like he hadn't spoken aloud, he turned to you and held it up, his eyes shining. I think this one is the best of them. This is sweet. This is adorable, and I'm gonna run out of saves. Is that their whole plan? To make sure I can't come back and play through it? Like, I don't blame them. This is awesome. It's my favorite too. I like a different one best. I can show it to you. You can take it. Oh, you can take it. Totally. It was just in a box in the corner by the door. You can totally keep it. Cove looked at you in surprise, his eyes going wide. Really? Sure, you like it a lot, right? Uh-huh, but I don't want to take it from you. It's okay. Got the impression he was hesitant to accept something, because he didn't know you very well. No, insist. Yeah, totally. I've got a box of shells. No, it's okay. It's okay for you. He pushed a shell against Choke. Oh, willing to receive, but firmly shook his head and kept his arms tightly on the sides. It was a battle you couldn't win, at least not today. Kobe's your neighbor now. Maybe you could give it to him another time. Two of you were sitting on the floor together, looking through your collection of beach things when the doorbell finally rang. Cove jumped, startled by the sound. Since the person hadn't knocked, he figured it was probably Shiloh. He knew where to look for that. Lizzie's friend? You nodded, but that didn't seem to make Cove feel better. It was already obvious that Cove didn't hide his feelings well. You could tell what he was thinking right away. This isn't a good idea. You'll be alright. He's here. We can't tell him to leave. He's at our only door, and if you go upstairs, he'll find you. Cove glanced around the room, his eyes wide, and finally paused with his gaze locked onto the back of the house. He can go out the window. He was already walking towards it. Scrambling to think of something to say, you stepped forward, then paused. Oh, fun. Do you want to break your other arm? Shiloh is the least scary person alive. Cheer up. Shiloh's gonna like you. Please don't get hurt. I'll come with you. Good idea. Let's go. I can't not. Good idea. Let's go. Hurry. They'll see where we're going. He glanced back at you, then nodded. Two of you made your way to the window together. It wasn't much of a distance to clamber down, but by the time you landed gently in the bushes, look up to see that Cove was already taking off away from the house. Oh, well, this is an adventure. He was fast, but you knew you could outrun him if you had to. He's not that fast. You knew you could outrun him if you had to. He was not that fast, but neither were you. That speed, you weren't sure if you'd go fast enough to reach him. I assume he's fairly fast, but he does have a cast. Cove! You ran as fast as your legs could take you, grass whipping around your ankles as you did so. Cautiously, Cove slowed to a halt and looked back at you. Where are you going? I don't know, somewhere else. I just don't want to see... Dainty! Looked back and saw Shiloh huffing down the hill after you. The backpack he clutched bouncing all around all along the way. Where are you going? Can I come? He must have seen you leaving out the window and followed behind. Well, shoot.
Hi.
Oh. Hi, kid. Okay. Aren't you there for Lizzie? Oh, hi. Are you Cove?
Yeah.
I'm Shiloh. Okay. Yep. Are you going back? Or are we gonna play outside? Shiloh's eyes moved between you and Cove, and the smile remained strong on his face. Got a little tiny frown from Cove in response. You were too grateful he hadn't asked why you had been running away. Yeah, he probably doesn't think about it like that. Inside, we left the box on the floor. Right, my shelves and stuff. You have to make sure they're okay. With Shiloh trailing behind you and Cove headed back towards the house. The plan for the afternoon, at least as far as you were concerned, was to sit and look at the beach thing some more. You weren't really in the mood to do much else anyway, especially if Cove was having fun. Hey, Check out the scallop shell I found. Cool, right? It's a pretty color. Kind of like my cast. Beautiful glittering pink. Did look a bit like the wrap around his arm. Pink is a nice color. Good job, Shiloh. Okay.
Oh?
Is it your favorite? Not really. What is? Maybe green or blue. Might be yellow. Oh, those are all cool.
I guess.
Ugh. You are so rough, Cove. I like those colors too. There are better colors. Not sure how to deal with the sudden, more awkward silence. You look back at your shells. I like those colors too. Both of them smiled, like usual. It didn't take long for Shiloh to get fidgety. Lizzie was his favorite. Without her around, Shiloh didn't seem to know what to do with himself. Cove wasn't like your sister. He wasn't that much like you either. Is Lizzie coming back? I don't know. Where'd she go? I think she's at the beach. Probably. Is she playing at her park? Cove's eyes lit up at the mention of the park. He looked toward you. There's a park? Yep, but it's old. Can you show me? I want to go. Okay. He started getting up before you had even answered, and Shiloh jumped up beside him in excitement. Well, we're going to the park. Really? You do too? Right, Dainty? Park is fun. Yeah, I love it too. Yeah, it's right at the beach, so there's lots of fun things to do and lots of sand. Has a jungle gym and a bunch of swings. I love swings. I'm such a fan of swings. Like, I want them, our early dates, the Dainty wife and I actually jumped into a playground and sat on the swings for a while. It was awesome. I love swings. It sounds like it could be cool. So, are you gonna find Lizzie? I don't know. I never really wanted to see her. I just want to check out the park. Adrift without any direction, Shiloh finally turned to you. Okay. He perked up. Both boys wanted to go. It was only fair. After getting permission from your moms, the three of you were ready to head out. I mean, what did they think when you came back in from jumping out the window? Just saying. Whatever. It was a short walk to the park. Lizzie had convinced your moms that it was so short she should always be allowed to walk there by herself. When you found her, she was hanging on the jungle gym, swinging back and forth. Hey, Lizzie. Her face lit up when she saw you, her big brown eyes going wide. Dainty! Shiloh! Hi. She dropped to the ground and landed with a soft thud in the sand. Split second, Shiloh had abandoned you two and scrambled over to stand by her. You were used to being left out when it was just the three of you, but now Cove is here. You wondered if he would leave too. Oh, goodness, Lizzie. Hi. Who's that? It's Cove. He's new.
Hi.
I remember. Hi, Cove. Welcome to my park. Nobody ever comes to play here, so this is where we get together. She gestured widely with her arms as if to present the area to the newcomer. Behold my park, the Lizzie Center. The Lizzie Land. Lizzie Landslide. Landside. No, that's a bad one. Lizzie Land sounds like the best one. Lizzie Land? Yeah. Okay. She gestured widely with her arms. While Lizzie continued talking, you took the chance to kick off your shoes and wiggle your toes into the warm sand. Good for you. Nice, huh? In this neighborhood, I'm the one who comes up with the ideas. I'm the ideal lady. You are?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I am. Who else can handle the job? Good point. Get it, Lizzie. Yes. Lizzie is the eldest. By a lot. My mom's said you're Dainty's age.
Yeah.
Thought so. I'm still the only one in this group with double digits. Oh, you're like 10 or 12? I guess I just kind of skipped 11. Oh, yeah, it's okay. What about other kids? Other kids? There aren't any. We're the only kids here, and Shiloh is just visiting from another place. Not enough even tourists really bring their kids here. This is the land of ancients. Be careful that the oldies don't try to steal your youth. So it's Florida? Is that what you're telling me? Oh. For a second, it looked like he might cry again. But something in his eyes shifted, and he looked back at Lizzie. What kind of old people? Like moms and dads or grandparents? Grandparents who don't have kids. They hate kids. Oh, dinks! Oh. Gotcha. Dinks. Double income, no kids. Basically, the life. If you don't want kids. If you do want kids, it's totally valid too. Adorable moms. Just letting you know. Why? We haven't done anything. Only some of them don't like kids. Stop saying something like that. You're gonna upset him. Yeah? They're really bad. No, only some of them don't like kids. You interjected quickly, hoping Lizzie wouldn't take things too far. Cove sniffled, his forehead creasing with worry. Lizzie was staring Cove down, but Cove wasn't even looking at her anymore. He didn't seem to care that she was there. He went into his own head. Shallow was next one to speak, completely unaware of the situation. I met Lizzie and Dainty in school. You'll see tons of kids there once summer is over. I want to go to a new school. I don't want summer to end. Shallow looked down to the dirt. He hasn't had much luck striking up conversations with Cove. I like summer vacation a lot too. All the buildings, tension in the air suddenly vanished when Lizzie laughed. At Shiloh's discomfort, at how weird she thought Cove was, at something else entirely, you didn't really know, but she laughed, face scrunching up.
Okay.
Welcome to Sunset Bird Cove. Take a seat, put up your feet, and get used to it. You offered him a small smile, and that, at least, looked to reassure him some. Good. For the rest of the summer, Cove was always there. You saw him more often than Shiloh, and on some days, when she was in a bad mood or busy, you even saw him more than Lizzie. He became a staple of your everyday life, the way sun and lunch and the beach were. During your first summer together, you really liked Cove. He was a fun person to play with, and he seemed to like playing with you too. Of course, that was only the start of things. Oh! Okay, so there's a lot of DLC type things. Moment select. Oh, step 1. Can I save this? Save. Shopping, grown up, long day, sandcastle, or fireflies. Ooh, sandcastle or fireflies? I kind of want fireflies. Alright, tonight we're gonna catch fireflies. This blunt decoration from your sister, you look up from your macaroni and cheese dinner. Fireflies were a familiar sight over the summer, coming out on warm nights and to dance through the sky. Tonight was particularly balmy. You knew there were bound to be a ton of them out around. Hi. Oh, you are? Are you? Okay. Click, click, clickety-clack. Yeah. You started eating faster. You looked over at your mom's, pushed your food around your plate. Start eating faster. A grin curved up your lips as you started to eat a bit faster, excited for what was to come. Seemed like you were too excited, however, as you started to choke and cough on your food from shoveling it down too quickly. Mommy reached over to pat you on the back, firmly helping to dislodge the noodles and enable you to breathe again. You took a big gulp of water from your glass, giving your mums a sheepish look. Oops. That's a good idea, Lizzie. Can we, Miss Tank? Shiloh tapped his fork against the table excitedly, his face lighting up as he looked at Lizzie. It was unusual for Shiloh to still be here. Like always, his mom had to bring him over really early in the morning before her job started. But normally she would have picked him up by now. She called before dinner to let your moms know she'd be late. You didn't hear why. Probably more work things. No, Mom doesn't look too excited about that. Staying at home and watching TV was never an option for her with guests over. That's why you were pretty sure she'd get your moms to agree.
Well,
it's already so dark out there. Liz gave your mom the best puppy dog eyes she could, slowly spooning mac and cheese into her mouth while you waited there for their response.
there.
Let them go. Nights like this don't happen every day. Your parents exchanged a look. Then Mom eventually sighed and nodded back. Ah, you guys are cute. Yes. Along with Lizzie's cheers, you threw your arms up in triumph. Ha-ha! But waited until you'd finished chewing to say anything because you knew it was rude to talk with your mouth full.
Fine.
Fine. Just make sure you stay on your hill behind our house with all of your puppies, are okay? Duh, Mom. That's why most of them are. The idea had only just been planted in your head, but already you could just picture all the glowing lights spread out in front of you, like the fairies from the bedtime stories Mommy read sometimes. All too quickly, it became a race to see who could finish their food first. No choking at the dinner table now. That's right, if someone died, we'd have to cancel the Firefly trip after all. Mom said it like a joke, but you knew they were both telling you kids to slow down. Shiloh did immediately. When you glanced at Lizzie, you saw her still eating faster than she should. Elizabeth.
Jeez.
No one is gonna die. Sheesh. Knock on the door interrupted Mom before she could no doubt scold your sister. I'll get it. Your big sister jumped out of her seat, ran over to the door, pulling it open without even looking out the window to see who it was.
Huh?
Shifting your seat to try and get a glance of the unexpected guest.
Hi.
Good evening, Cove. Your mommy had already walked to the door by the time you managed to see past Shiloh's flappy hat. Oh, Cove! Hi, you're here. Cove smiled at your enthusiastic greeting and you hoped Mommy would ask him to stay. It didn't matter why he was here. It meant he could join you all in catching fireflies. Then, for a few seconds, Cove said nothing. He only stood there and looked around at your mommy with a face almost like he was considered turning around and leaving. My dad told me to drop this off because I guess he borrowed it from you? Took a familiar screwdriver from out of his large side pocket. Eyes now dropped to the floor. We left ours back home when we moved. Great. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here, why don't you come inside for a bit? Lizzie crossed her arms and lifted her chin. Cove shrugged and your mom stood from the table too. I'll give your dad a call to let you know you got here all right. Cove shuffled fully inside, eyes remaining on the ground. Mommy closed the door behind him.
Hi.
Hi, Cove. Shiloh gave Cove a friendly smile while waving by holding up his hand and opening and closing his fingers. Cove nodded in response. Here we go. Cove, are you going to catch fireflies with us? You can come outside with us if you want to. You weren't sure what to say. No, come catch. Would you like to come catch fireflies? See, Lizzie ironed you for mentioning the excursion to an outsider, but she'd get over it. You hoped Cove would say yes. That way, you wouldn't be the odd one out with Lizzie and Shiloh anymore.
Yeah.
I can do that. Never caught one before. It's too bad he didn't have a chance before now. The fireflies weren't out when he first moved in, and there must not have been anywhere he used to live. The fireflies in the giant kind of field down south, when it got those nice warm nights, they would go off in like just chunks of the field, and so it would be like flash, 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 and then like different areas would illuminate at different times, and then there was that weird odd one out in one section that was just mistimed from the rest of them. It was actually really fascinating. Like, I always call them fireflies or lightning bugs, but of course I'm from the south, so lightning bugs were kind of a thing. We can't go out until after dinner. After she pointed this out, Lizzie walked back to the table and took her seat. There wasn't much left on her plate. Since this was very true, you decided to finish up your own stuff as well. Cove stepped closer and eyed what was on the menu for your family's meal. Have you eaten yet? Yeah, my dad and I ate earlier. What'd you have? Eggs. Just eggs? The clipped one-word answer seemed to discourage Shiloh from asking any more questions. His eyes slowly wandered back to the last scraps of food on his plate. Heard from Cove. Cove's dad must have ended because your mom came back into the room.
Okay.
Cove, your dad said you can stay for a while if you'd like, but he's going to come get you before it gets too much later. Sure.
Fun.
Oh, fun. This would be so nice. As you polished off your meal, you hoped it would be too. Three of you all finished eating shortly after, and Lizzie led the way outside. Remember, don't stray too far. It's fine, Mom. Shiloh trailed so closely after Lizzie, he was nearly stepping on her heels. Cove hesitated at the door. Coming? After a moment, he did.
Bye.
Bye, children. That sounded a little sinister. The two of you were a good 10 or 15 feet behind Lizzie and Shiloh by the time you walked outside. You pushed the door shut behind you, watching their figures get further and further away.
Hurry up!
Farther and farther, not further and further. Hi, I'm DaintyTank, and I have aphasia. So, things come out weird sometimes. Deal with it. Lizzie, you're so slow, Dainty. We don't have all night. You started to run when you heard Lizzie's voice calling you, but paused when you saw Cove still walking at a relaxed pace. Don't wave at him. You ran off. You waved at him to hurry. You walked with him. You tugged him along. Are you not gonna come? Don't be a dick. You walked with him. You fell behind, siding up next to him and matching his stride. He noticed right away.
It's okay.
You can go ahead, if you want. You smile and shake your head. I don't. After a short walk, the two of you reached the hill behind the house. Fireflies were out in full force, floating on the breeze, their gentle glow winking in and out, creating an almost magical effect. Lizzie had already climbed to the top. Shiloh was spinning in circles somewhere around the middle.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Shiloh took a moment to look over and welcome the both of you to the hill. Hi guys. It's really great out, huh? See how many there are? Yeah. Firefly danced through the air, landing on Cove's sea green head. Okay. Shiloh couldn't help but giggle. You and Shiloh couldn't help but giggle. You quietly looked on. You shoot the bug away. I think we'd both probably giggle at that. Covering your mouth with a hand, the sound escaped you, and Cove looked at you in confusion. What? Oh, look, Lizzie is one. That's amazing! Shiloh ran to the high point in the hill, making sure to lose his hat and backpack along the way. You hummed as the group divided and conquered. Shifting your gaze to the dozens of other fireflies sailing around you, the game was on. Spotting one close by, you approached it with an assassin-like stealth, crouching down to make yourself seem like less of a threat. Slowly dragging one foot in front of the other, you crept towards it, arms outstretched. You closed your hands around the little glowing orb, careful not to crush it. The firefly landed on your palm, almost docile, and you stared down at your prize in delight. Its tiny legs tickled your skin, and you giggled at the sensation. Cove kept up with his own target, but when he tried to grab it at his pink cast, waved awkwardly through the air, foiling his efforts to clap his hands around the firefly. Ugh. Cove watched it vanish into thin air with a dissatisfied expression on his face. encouraged him to try again, told him about the Firefly you had, made a joke about what happened. You did your own things. Oh, tell him you have one. Hey, wanna see the one I got? Cove gave me one more look in the direction of his lost prize before coming over and peering at the insect still crawling across your palm. He held out your hand and he leaned closer, eyes widening a tad behind his glasses. Cove remained hypnotized by the little bug as he inched his hand closer to yours. Ultimately, he settled his fingers slightly over top of yours and you were holding open. It tingled. We're gonna stay very still. The last thing you wanted was to accidentally scare the shiny treasure off. Firefly, noticing the new connection, crawled up onto Cove's hand. He quietly gasped. It worked. Oh, the little, shells on the corners here, that's adorable. Yeah, you got one. Cove's lips turned up into a slow smile, and his eyes shined brighter than the bug. Thanks, Dainty. With a laugh, he gave the palm of his hand a friendly smack, performing an awkward low high five. Sorry by the extreme movement, the tiny light disappeared before you could even blink. Your Firefly was gone.
Sorry.
Oops, sorry. No, don't scold him. He was just so excited. You scolded him, you forgave him, you teared up. You forgave him. It's okay. I couldn't keep it forever.
You're right.
You're right. Bugs have to stay outside. Let's get another. Yeah, let's collect more. Yeah. Uh-huh, we can work together. His face broke out into a wide grin. We'll get a bunch. With renewed vigor, we ran down into the hill. You're not sure how much time passed while you were in the thick of it. All you could focus on was the adventure at hand. No critter was safe from your grasp. At first, you tried to keep a tally of how many you had caught, but once the number grew higher than 10, you had no more fingers left to count with. You were having the time of your life, racing up and down the hill with the crash of the ocean and the sound of everyone's laughter echoing in the background. Dainty, this way! You followed the sound of Cove's voice to the top of the hill, watching as he stretched his arms out in front of him, reaching with his fingers and only narrowly missing his target. Cove and you took turns trying to scare fireflies in the direction of the other. You showed him some techniques that you had learned, like how to cup your hands correctly, and he listened attentively before trying it himself. There were a few times when you almost ran into each other, giggling as you dove to the side at the last moment. Luckily, disaster was avoided each time. It was an overall huge success, with both of you catching multiple fireflies each. Eventually, the fireflies began to thin out and your energy started to lapse. You decided it was time to call off the hunt. Aww. Cove couldn't complain. He breathed in heavily and his face seemed really flushed. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. He smiled at him broadly, happy that he had enjoyed the activity. Yeah, it was.
Come on!
Dainty, Cove, get up here. We're gonna have a race. Shouting caught you off guard. It'd been quite a while since you heard from Lizzie or Silo. You glanced over to see them both, standing at the top of the hill again, Lizzie beckoning you with quick hand gestures. Oh, that's pretty. It was she. If she was like that, you knew there wasn't much room for disagreement. Up the incline you went. From the corner of your eye, you saw Cove was coming out as well. He didn't care for Lizzie a lot, so you thought he might be intrigued by the idea. Hi.
Cove.
Hi. Cove, you can't roll down the hill. You could hurt your arm again. You'll be the referee for the rest of us? As Lizzie pointed this out, Cove froze in place. Oh, it was kind of a race. He frowned down at his cast. This was the second time it got in the way tonight. What? Yeah, you'll watch and see who gets to the bottom first. That's important. Got it?
I guess.
Sure. The cast was sturdy. If he was careful, he could have done it. Lizzie might have just been looking for a reason to make someone else the referee, but it was already decided. Get into position for the race. I'll stay with Cove. I'm gonna do something else. I'll stay with Cove.
Really?
Why? You don't have to. It's okay. I won't watch. You moved beside him at the top of the hill, even though Lizzie eyed you and made a face. It's not how races work. We only need one referee. Shrugging your shoulders, you refuse to budge. Lizzie let out a huff before throwing her hands in the air. Fine, I'll be the weather, whether you join or not. Lizzie moved down to lay down, and Shiloh did the same. Cove stood slightly to the side to get a better vantage point. You stood next to him. Count down. Cove stood up a little straighter. Looked like he was taking his newfound referee duties seriously. 3, 2, 1, go. Lizzie and Shiloh took off, letting gravity do the work and rolling at high speed towards the bottom of the hill. You and Cove leaned forward to watch them go, eyes peeled for which of the two would reach the bottom first. They were both neck and neck until they were halfway down the hill. Lizzie started to veer off to the side, giving Shiloh a huge advantage. She obviously hadn't noticed the thing, and as soon as Shiloh reached the bottom of the hill, he jumped up excitedly and threw his hands in the air. I won! Almost immediately, he fell back onto the grass, still dizzy from his roll down the hill. Lizzie stomped over to the bush she had ended up in, sputtering angrily and brushing the leaves from the front of her dress. Not bad. You got lucky. Let's do it again and see who wins for real. Kids, it's time to come in.
Ugh.
No! He snickered, feeling grateful you hadn't been a part of the mini debacle. You caught Cove's eyes and saw that he was doing the same. It had gotten late and was beginning to feel just a bit chilly as you made your way up of the hills, but the cold in the air hadn't dampened anyone's spirits. The four of you walked back home together, side by side, down your neighborhood street, discussing the evening, with each person trying to prove that they were the one who caught the most fireflies. You knew that whoever really did catch the most didn't matter anyway. All that mattered was that you all had a great time, which, judging by the smiles on everyone's faces, you did. Oh, that was sweet. Oh, okay. With that, I'm going to pause here. Thank you all for joining. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you are enjoying all of this. Let me know what you think of the whole dynamic with Cove. And also what you would have Lizzie name her playground. So, with that, I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye!